It's a little bit after the top of the hour. Again, my name is Steve Newell. I'm with Cloud Consult, and I'm very, very happy to be joined today by Hans Wilhelmsson, who's got a very, very deep and long career in serving the telefinancing service industry. And he's the founder of simTree Workforce Management. And Hans will be showing us the platform today. Very, very exciting platform and extremely applicable to the telefinancing service industry. And for those who are already clients of simTree, you're going to be able to see a lot of the advances that Hans and his team have come up with in the past couple of months. And for those of you who are not yet enjoying the benefits of simTree, you'll be able to see the whole platform. So I want to hand it over to Hans Wilhelmsson to show us the simTree platform.
Okay, thank you. Hi, everyone. So I will share my screen. And I think you see it now. So simTree is a web-based system. And all you need to get started is an account and a username and a password. And then you just sign in. So I will do that. And I select one of my demo environments. So simTree has support for several sites. In this case, we have 3 sites, and we are going to work with the Springfield site. Before we do that, we will look into the forecast, which is in common for the sites. So in forecast, everything is arranged by weekday. So you see all Tuesdays in one column and all Wednesdays in another column, making it easy to compare. All the white cells are historic data, while the light blue cells are forecast data. And you can click on any of these days and see the total, see the graph of the number of calls over the day. And this is by account group. So right now we selected all account groups, but you can take away the pizza groups and look only at the medical groups, or clear and just look at the pizza groups like this. So you can make any multi-select as you like here to graph what you like. Also, you can control click another day and compare 2 days with each other like that. simTree supports day types. So by default, you have a normal day type, but you can assign a day to be like a midsummer day or a Christmas day, and then the forecast will be made up from previous such days. The forecast is fully automatic, and as new data streams into simTree, the forecast updates in the background. So there is no saving needed, and the only thing you need to do is to maintain the date types or make some adjustments if you like. So making an adjustment, you can do this with this little icon here. And here you can choose to add a percentage, and you can apply that to the selected call groups. So now I raised all the call groups with 5%, and you can also choose a time range to do that. So when I first did it, it was spread out all over the day following the profile of the original data. But you can select the time range where you like to make the adjustment. Clicking on the side here, you can copy or you can import and export through Microsoft Excel. So if you want to import your own data or export and modify data and then re-import, that is possible. You can also take any day and right-click it and copy either the forecast or the actual data. and go to another day and right-click again and paste that data. Next is the compare functionality. You can drag this little slider to the right, and days that are bad in forecast will show up in purple. I think it didn't update correctly here. Either than number of calls, you can also look at average handling time, or just handling time if you like. You can also choose to compare with forecast. So you take number of calls and compare with forecast. You see two numbers in each cell, and one is number of calls actual, and the other one is a forecasted number of calls. Okay, we go back and look into Springfield. So this is the main planning screen of simTree, and you select the date range and you start planning. So right now we have 1 week, but you can focus on just 1 day, or you can go out and select 3 weeks like this, and you can easily get an overview of the schedule by that. So we go back to the first period here. On the top here, you see a graph indicating the number of people needed and also the number of people actually planned. You can adjust the size of the chart if you like. To make it more clear what is the deviation, you can click on the settings here for the chart and add red and blue deviation bars like that. So now you can see clearly everything that is red is where you are lacking people, and everything that is blue is where you are too many. And you can also use the mouse over to see a tooltip how many people you are too many in that case, and how many people you are three too few in that case. So simTree has a built-in automatic planning with an optimization. And to support that, we need to look into the employee module. In the employee module, you see all your employees, and it is divided up in sections. So you have the general section, skills, cyclic schedules, availabilities, and shifts. In the general section, you have things like name, address, and that kind of thing. You can tag employees with color tags. These are often used to teams, if you have different teams in your organization. And you can also use tag to connect to different settings. For instance, break settings can be tagged as well as agents. In this section here, you can specify work time. If you have extra employees, you can specify if they should be planned in first hand, second hand, or third hand. If they are not extra, they are giving the required work time. In the skills tab, we have a matrix of skills. So Andrew here is skilled on Med 1, Med 2, Med 3, and so forth. And you just click on the circles here to add or remove skills for the agent. Next is, I jump these two for a while, look at the shifts. So the shift is a list of shifts that are possible for this agent to do. And it may be a long list, but normally it's just a few shifts, like here. So the first shift here is what we call a flexible shift. And it's flexible in start time, so it can start anytime between 4:30 and 9 a.m. And you can drag these little sliders to make the shift start less flexible. Now it can be anything between 6 a.m. and 7 a.m. And if you want it to be exact 7 a.m., you just do like that. And it goes the same way with the end of the shift. So you can decide what is the end point of the shift. And finally, also with the shift duration, if you want to be like 6.5 hours sharp, and you do like that. Or if it can be flexible in duration, you can do like that. This flexible shift is used on Monday to Friday, while Saturday and Sunday have this fixed shift here. And for the fixed shift, you can select if you want automatic breaks or not. So this shift goes hand in hand with availability. So even if you have a shift limitations here, you can also limit by availability if you like. So Andrew has no availability. Other people have, and the one that has is indicated with a little symbol on the on the side here. So we will create a new availability for Andrew, and we just add one here, and then you can move it around with the mouse, and you can copy this and paste it to the other days if you like. And perhaps Friday is not available so late, so you do like that. So in order for Andrew to get the shift must fit into the availability, otherwise he will not be scheduled that day. So with this schedule, he will not get any schedule or Saturday or Sunday. I will open up this a bit here, I think. Here we go. Anything you change, you can save for many people at the same time. You can do that by using the checkboxes by the name. And if I do like this, all these 5 people will get the same availability when I save this. I won't do that right now. Cyclic schedules are used for admin or for people that have a repeating schedule every week or every second week. So David here has such a schedule, and you can easily change it by clicking on one of the days and then move the shift like that. Also here you can have automatic breaks on the cyclic schedules, or you can choose to enter the breaks inside the schedule if you like. So we will go back and try this out. So I will select this week here, which is blank. We will do planning. In the planning dialog, you can choose from apply just cyclic schedule, optimize the breaks, or make a complete optimization of the planning. And you can do this for all employees, or you can check mark employees, or you can do a selection on the cells in the schedule before and use that. So now we will do it for all employees and run. And the status bar here indicate how the progress goes. It will take a few seconds to do this planning. And now everyone has got shifts and breaks according to their settings. and to get the best fit to the target number of people at all times here. You may have noticed that we had something we call ghosts, and these are not real agents, and you can give shift to the ghost, and after that you can publish this shift for agents to pick up on their mobile app, which we are going to look at next. Before we do that, you can also see we have on the right side here a request pane, and here are incoming requests from agents that want to work or not work or to get the shift and so forth. And I'll show you after the mobile app how to work with that. So I will log out. And I will log in as an agent and switch to my mobile. There we go. So in the mobile, things are arranged 1 week at a time. So starting on Sunday, you can see your weekly schedule and you can go to the next week and look at that. If you click on a shift, you will see the details of that shift, and you have the possibility to make different type of requests on the shift. So this little symbol here indicate that there is a shift to pick up. And if I go into that, I can look at the pick. And there are actually 3 different shifts posted that are originating from the ghost shift we looked at previously. And I can select one of them and see the start times and so on, and I can volunteer to pick up that shift by clicking here.
Jag hittade det här på webben.
Right. So we go to the next week here. So apart from making a pick, you can also make a request to change your schedule. I think I should find someone who has no previous request. So everyone with this little white dot, there is already a request, but this one has not. So I click on the work request, and my original work time is from 7 to 4 p.m. And I can click here and change my start time to 8 o'clock. And maybe that's all I want to do. I need to change the break time as well. I can see that. And I can put a message, and I can give some stars to this if it is important. And then I can send this request away. Something went wrong. Okay. Sorry about that. I continue. We go to the Teams side here. This is where you can see your workmates' schedule. And it's arranged by start time of the day, 1 day at a time. And you can scroll down here and see everyone. In the next section is trades. And when you're trading, you need to find someone to trade with. And the first step is to find the date you want to trade away. So let's pick this day, the 16th, and then we can seek for trades. The 23rd are no possible trades, but the 22nd there are some. So I can choose employee 6 and pick his shift here. So I will trade away my shift with his shift from the 16th to the 20th. And I can give a message and some stars again and send this away. And this will go to the other agent that needs to confirm this trade. And then finally it will go to the supervisor who needs to decide about it. Next is stats. So in stats, agent can see their payroll information, their adherence information, and late arrivals. So if we start with the payroll, we need to go back sometime here. So this week here was calculated with payroll, and the work time was 35.5, and it was 1 vacation and 1 sick day. So this is highly configurable, and you can calculate overtime, nighttime, and different types of payroll codes as you like. In the adherence section, we need to look at this week. You can see calculations of adherence for the agent based on their login and in rotation times in the system, and also the percentage. And in the late arrival section, you can see late arrivals, or if a break was not in the correct time or the break length was exceeded. So everything is calculated and transparent to the agent for self-monitoring. So you don't need to show this if you don't like, so you can take it away. And finally, in the users tab, you can clear your cookies, you can opt in for SMS notifications, change some color settings of the system, and you can also self-monitor your address and phone number and that kind of thing. So I will log out and back to the. So this is not an iPhone app or something like that. It's a mobile app, and it's possible for the agent to run it also on the PC, of course. Back here and into Springfield. So I had a problem with the request, so it will not show up here, but we have some other requests here. So we can just click on the request and it will be highlighted in the schedule. And if you want to approve this request, you click on the thumb up. And if you look carefully here, it will change when I approve it. And if you change your mind, you can take it away, or you can also for decide later, and you can reject the request if you like. We also have here a posted shift that has been requested. And we look at this one. If I click here, these two cells become highlighted, and this person here has requested this shift and also this person. So I click on thumb up, and now I can select one of the employees to take over this shift, and I take that one and OK. And now that shift was inserted into that person and the request was removed for that person. It's also possible to post other shift than ghost shift. You can right-click a shift. Sorry, no, it needs to be moved to a ghost and then posted. So you can just simply drag and drop a shift, to some other position for one of the ghosts, and then you can right click and you can post this shift. And now it's posted. If someone gets sick, you go to edit and you sick mark that agent, and you can control what part of the shift she was sick. So the actual shift is not removed. It's just an overlay of sickness on the shift. And you can get help to find a replacement with the same set of skills as the sick agent, if you like. So fine editing the shift is done in this control down here. So if we take another shift like this one, and we add a task for admin, and then we can drag that like that. Or you can even drag the shift into the other part here and make longer and shorter and so forth. So it's quite easy. And you can move the breaks as well, or you can move the entire shift with the white bar here, and all breaks and everything will follow. With the icon in the corner, you can see who made edit on this shift. You can also click the icon, and you can see the full history of saved shifts here. So more than 1 year ago, you had this shift, and then 146 days ago, it was changed by the same person to that, and now it's like that. And if you like, you can revert to any of these older versions of the shift. You can also undo. So whatever you do in the schedule, you can press undo, and it is restored to what before. And you can even redo this to get it back like that. And you can do this in several steps. Okay. Let's look a bit more on the graph. I will go back to this period here. Now, since I didn't save this, I'm going to rerun it. So optimize and run. So here we go. So let's look a bit more in detail on the Tuesday. I select Tuesday. If I click on the header here, it will sort by start time. Now you see all the shifts arranged by start time here. So you can see that there is slight problem here in the with the understaffing, and a bit there. So as you may know, everything behind the scenes here is based on simulation, meaning that the calls that we have forecasted are actually applied to the schedule as in real life, and we figure out who can answer the call, who has the skill to do that, and during that process we can calculate the service level of the business. So you can see the result from that by clicking up here, and you get this little heat map, and you can monitor the service level. So at the same time as we are a bit understaffed here, you can see that the service level is a bit on the low side here, while it gets better here midday, and then during this period here, it's also a bit understaffed. You can actually do this also on each skill or call group. So this is the heat map for all the skills in the system. And you can spot if you have any direct problems here. You can also use this blue pane, which you can drag over the, right now it is set to be 4 hours, but in the settings here, I can set this to 1 hour. And now the width of this is just 1 hour width. And anywhere I click, it will stack, and you can read the stats for this period of the okay. So before I forget, we have a user guide in the system. So in the user menu, you can make different settings of your, for instance, AM, PM format and language and so on. But here is also the user guide. And the user guide is arranged in sections. And in the Get Started section, you have different topics like task type, and you can click into that and read step by step how to change your task types or adding employees. And in many cases, there is also a link to a YouTube video covering this subject of the system. And down here you have a list of all videos that are available in the system. So that's an excellent way to learn about the system. Okay, so we have adherence left. Well, a few more things before we do that. So in the Save button, you see this arrow here, and here you can choose to indicate so you easily can track what is changed. And in particular, you can use notification on schedule change. And if I try to save this, the system finds out that I've made changes on these 5 agents, and you can choose to email or to SMS to them, or just simply save without notification. So this is a way to notify agents that they got schedule changes in their published schedule. So let's go to the I'd like to show the filter first as well. So in the filter, you can filter on skill. If you want to see all agents with the skill on medical 8, you do like that. All agents with both medical 7 and 8, you do like that. And you can also hover this little symbol here and see what skill an agent has directly. You can filter by task. So let's take supervisor. Only 2 agents are scheduled as supervisor, and they are selected by that. Or simply free text on the name. So let's talk a bit about adherence. So I will go back to some older days, past time. Here we are. So on the Friday here, we got some data from agent events imported to the system, and they result in different warnings and symbols beneath the shift. So if you look at this agent here, we can see the shift itself with some warnings, and the yellow bars beneath the shift are the login times and logout times for the agent. So this agent logged in 9:36 and logged out 10:55, and it was actually scheduled from 9 until 4 p.m., I think, 5 p.m. And since this log time does not match the start time, it produces a warning of a late arrival of 36 minutes. Also, there are two warnings on the break. First is that the start is off 5 minutes and the break length was exceeded with 5 minutes. So all these warnings can be, as you saw, reported in the mobile app, but also reported in a printable report. Now, if the agent was excused for this late arrival, maybe it was a good reason, you can approve that by setting the log time with an adjustment to be the scheduled start time. And the adjustment is clearly seen, and now the warning has been taken away for that agent. And you can choose to set the entire day to the schedule by just clicking here one time, and all adjustments are made and all warnings are taken away. The adherence figure is based on in-rotation times. So right now we're looking at log times, but you can switch over to in-rotation times, and you can see all in-rotation events for this agent here. And the 62% are calculated as the total time being in adherence, in rotation, while at the same time being scheduled. So if you are in rotation during the break, that is not counted as an adherence, so it will not contribute to the figure. So some of our customers are using this for payroll, basing the payroll on either login time or in rotation time. So a little bit more about that. In the settings of the system, we have, there are a few settings here, but I'm looking at the work rules. So work rules are breaks, but it is also agreements. And in agreements, you can choose to have more than one. And here you can define what shall be calculated as work, what is overtime, what is vacation, and what is sickness. So each of these payroll codes can be connected to a task type or even log time or in rotation times. A little bit more about the settings, the break rules. Depending on how long a shift is, if the shift is between 4.5 hours and 7 hours, this break rule will apply. And the details of that break rule is expanded here. So with this shift duration, it will be one short break and one lunch break. And for the longer shift here, we have 3 breaks. And it's up to you to define the break rules. And you can even tag the breaks. So if I do like that, this break rule will only apply to agents that are tagged with this blue tag. Task types. This is where you define your work tasks. So operator is the default task type, and it contributes 100% to the target, while the supervisor is set in this case to contribute 50% to the target, and I can modify that figure as I like. And we have meeting and admin and dispatcher. They are not contributing at all to the call taking, so to say. So when you first set up the system, the first thing you do is to create the contact center, and then you click here to import employees. And you need to have an Excel-like file with your employee names and email address and some other data. And then you will have all your employees in place. About connecting to different switches, there are several ways. One way is to import report files from either Genesis or perhaps Startel. With Startel, we have an API connection to the Startel, so the only thing you need is to have this API from Startel. And for Genesis, we have a possibility to pick data through SQL statements and a console application. But it's upcoming also an API connection with Genesis. Okay, Steve, I'm sure I've forgotten something, but I don't know.
I wanted to add a couple of points that, I mean, from my perspective. So, as all of you may know, I'm a broker. I have access to a lot of different platforms, a lot of different workforce management platforms, and there's a lot of great products out there. The reason that I am continually, this may be our second or third time that I've sponsored a webinar and invited Hans to talk about the simTree product for telephone answering service. There's a couple of reasons. One of them is I think it's uniquely targeted toward the telephone answering service. The mobile app is extraordinary and getting better. Him and his team, they've added AI features to be able to basically go back over a long period of time and take all that data and make very, very precise and intelligent projections about what's going to happen in the future. The other thing that I think is very important is there's a lot of sites that have acquired or partnered with other answering services. So maybe there's you have a StarTel and you have an Amtelco, you have a Telescan, and a Pinnacle and so on and so forth, or a combination of two or three of them. And the great thing is that simTree is able to integrate with each one of those platforms and basically coalesce all those schedules so that you can get a handle on all the different platforms with all their different data feeds and be able to put together a comprehensive platform. And I know, we're working together on a couple of other installations, and that's exactly what's happened. There's some installations with they have teams all over the world in different time zones on different platforms and so on and so forth. And Hans is able to, with simTree, integrate with each one of those very different platforms in different time zones and basically give you the control over your schedule. And so that's one of the reasons why I continually want to keep simTree on the forefront before everyone, because I think it's something that you really can benefit from. And having seen all the other workforce management platforms, the price point is very, very good. The power is very, very good. There's AI features in it. And the fact that you can integrate with multiple platforms. And the other thing that I'm very, very impressed with is the fact that the help tutorials, the videos, the explanations about how to set everything up and so on and so forth. I've seen some other ones, and simTree is continually refreshing their videos and refreshing their help information to make it very easy for your team to be able to implement all the features that are continually coming out with simTree. So I just wanted to make sure and point that out because I get to see all the different platforms. And I know for you, it's a lot of work to look at all the different platforms and everything is yes, yes, yes. But then when it comes down to all the details, it's like, oh, well, that's an extra this and an extra that, and well, we're working on that, and oh, you have multiple platforms, oh, multiple time zones, oh, well, and so I that's why I feel strongly about continually promoting simTree because I do think that they are uniquely positioned to be able to serve the answering service world in a way that a lot of the other platforms um, struggle with. So anyway, I'll hand it back to Hans.
Well, thank you, Steve. Your words are warming. Very kind of you. Yeah, about time zones. We have support for time zones. So normally we store all data in UTC time, and whoever is looking at the data wherever in the Philippines, they see their schedule in their time zone when they open it up. So that's quite a good feature.
Yeah, and you would be surprised at how that's a real problem with some of the other platforms. So that's a great
Yeah.
advantage.
Yeah,
And
well,
it's subtle, but it's not subtle. It's pretty important. So
so it's not so easy with the time zones. I've been swearing about it sometimes, but
yeah.
yeah.
So I think unless you have anything else, I think it's time to close. Thank you everyone so much for joining. And of course, if you want to get to look at a deeper dive of the platform, contact myself, contact Hans. Please contact us. We'll set something up for you. And I think that as your services continue to grow, this becomes a very vital tool in keeping down those labor costs and making sure that your service levels are appropriate for each and every day, the holidays, the special days, the Saturdays, et cetera. So Hans, thank you so much for joining us. I know it's late out there.
Thank you.
And I'm going to take this recording and send it out in the next day or so as it wraps up. And but we look forward to hearing back from you to see if you'd like to get a deeper dive of the platform. Again, thanks everyone for joining us, and thank you so much, Hans.
Thank you. Thank you, Steve. Thank you, everyone.
Bye-bye.